Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Beautiful spring flowers in their natural habitat of sort of plastic and wood parts. Still at the mercy of the weather during this time. So sometimes you don't get down, sometimes you do. It's been a good week or so since I was last down. I was doing this area here where all the summer bulbs are. And that's that sort of area there, just to the side of the shed. I've got the compost over here. And it's there. No sign of anything coming up yet. I don't think I would have expected that. It looks pretty dry. But I'm not going to adjust that just yet because for all I know it's going to tip it down with rain. Spring is evident though. The raspberries don't want to focus, but you can see on the new growth at the end of last year that there's evidence of life coming on the raspberries, so they will probably, wowzers, they will spring to life. The way these are summer raspberries, so the berries come on the new growth. So what will happen is you'll get stalks coming up and they will fruit. Like these ones here would have had fruit on last year. And between the ones that are fruiting you get new growth coming up. So these ones come up, and essentially the ones that have had berries on, you can chop them right back to the ground because they will not have berries on again the next year. They essentially come up again on the new shoot, so you can keep cutting the back ones that have had berries on them. Once you've got the berries off, chop it back to the ground, and any that have shot up out of the ground that year, you leave them. They won't get berries on them that year, but the next year they will. So it's kind of every other year type scenario. There's cauliflower in here now. I thought about ripping it up, but the ones like this one, they're doing something. I'm going to leave them probably and see what we get later in the season. The leeks are looking pretty good. Look at this boy. So we might have a good few pots of soup to come out of those guys. That's the beds that we made last time and that really put me off building anymore. And I don't think we'll build anymore. The onions are starting to pick up a bit, onion and garlic. And so are the weeds, so I'll have to get in and weed that in a minute. There's nothing in here yet, but I can see some tulips or something in there. And then, if you remember a couple of weeks back we had some rhubarb like this. Well, that's now like this, and like this, because once rhubarb starts going, it really goes. Like this one here. That's ready to harvest. Beautiful. So, what the plan is, I think, is that digging's just it's painful. and it doesn't really stay. It's like to come down here and you spend a full couple of hours digging, and then it's time to go home or whatever. You spend half the time down here digging. There is a methodology which is no dig, where all of this stuff, you basically just bury it, let it die back naturally, and as long as you're adding compost before you plant, all that nutrient that's in those leaves just goes straight back into the soil. Worms eat it. I'm trying to ascertain if there's any life coming on the apple tree, and I think I want to focus today, do you? I think these are, from the ends, the tips are starting to get furry, which means hopefully all these little buds are gonna do something soon. It'd be nice to know that the plant is viable. But I think what the plan is that I'm going to move these sheets onto the green areas, kill them back, and then maintain what's under those. So that's like a synthetic mulch, if you like, and then I'll add compost to the bits. Compost. I'll add some compost and stuff to the areas where we're going to be growing, and just make beds in the ground. I mean, there's raised beds kind of going on, but also a lot of people just using bare plots. So it'll be more like what these guys. Instead of paying 20 odd quid a bed for wood to go around it, just maybe do it like this, put it straight in the ground. That's the thinking. That's the sheets moved from here. That's what was left underneath that. So it's amazing how some stuff still tries to grow even though it's had no light. And then we've moved them to here, so that's covering another section of this. The wind's already trying to rip these back up. But one of the good things from moving all that is I did find strawberries. Some more of these pins that had gone astray during the process. Oh, this raspberry's coming on a bit. I mean, this section here might be the first bit we plant, because I was going to make this area here behind the sheds a sort of flower type seating area, but if it's good to go then we might put some plants in there. I've lifted some seed trays and things that were in the shed. I'm going to take them home and start planting up some of the seeds we've got there, because now that things are starting to kick off, it's all going to move pretty rapidly, and suddenly you'll be in summer. That's the theory. Till next time.